G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to cover some of the best new trios that have formed with the Epic Games announcement yesterday that 2021 will be trios for the whole competitive season. We've had some pro scrims running and I just want to tell you who's going where, who's playing with who, and who's looking the best. Because right now, there's some drop spots that are really coming out on top. There's some strategies that these pros are picking up that you should 100% be learning. But in the end of today's video, I want to talk about a different strategy that just got exposed by the X2 twins. It's not really an exploit because technically it's in the game, but I want to talk about how they figured out you can get guaranteed wins. No one can stop you in arena solos, duos, trios, regular solos, squads, literally any game mode. It is free wins, and I want to expose it because the more people who know about it, the less likely people are to abuse it because you can ruin people trying to do it, but also the more likely Epic Games is to fix it, because if you're finding a lot of games today, you're getting to the end game, you can't find the last opponents, and then you just lose because someone's infinitely in Storm. Yeah, that's because of this strategy. It's pretty much exactly like the old Slurpee Swamp strat where you sit in the water and you never have to leave. It's a guaranteed win. Before we jump into today's video, guys, remember, chuck a like on it if it helps you out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you didn't know, I stream every single day live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. Come have a chat with me. NAE's pro scrims are already underway, so we get a bit of an idea of who's playing with who, where they're dropping, and how they're going overall. Remember, some of these teams might change. We do have a couple months till FNCS. Some of them are just trialing out, but some of the teams are looking really, really solid. Now, the first big one is the fact that Clix and Bizzle have found a new third, but it looks possibly temporary. They're not really sure yet. They're just trialing it out. But currently, Clix and Bizzle are still together, which I was a little bit surprised with, to be honest. After last season, it looks like they weren't playing the best. It looked like they were looking for new teammates, but they're still together now, and their third is actually Blake right now, which I know they said it's just a trial, it's not official, but I really like the look of this team. Not just because Clix and Blake have such good chemistry, and yesterday in scrims, they looked like they were having so much fun, which, when you go off last season, Clix seemed to be like he was burning out a lot. It looked like he was just getting really over, playing the tournament, scrimming, streaming, it just wasn't all there. So to see him having a lot of fun in scrims and just enjoying it with Bizzle and Blake was actually really, really nice, and on paper, as a team, they look really good. Clix and Blake are both insane fraggers. They're very, very mechanical. They're very smart and they listen well. Behind Bizzle just leading them is going to be a really scary team. Currently, they looked pretty strong yesterday. They didn't have the best games, but honestly, the first thing I want to touch on coming into this new competitive season is the lag issues. I was really hopeful that this season would have a massive fix to the lag. Unfortunately, at this point, it does not. Let me just show you a clip of their scrim games yesterday. It's just not.
Get to the tunnel, wait on me. Yeah, you're good, you're good. Okay. I want up a little bit just because of rifters. I'm seeing ahead.
Okay, I have like 5 in the
There's still 5 in this guy, 5 in this guy.
Might need a connection.
Yeah. Five in the sky. I'm gonna land on.
Landing in the back.
Oh god, the servers are not great.
I'm about to spray him.
Okay.
Holding high ground's gonna be...
Dude, it's so laggy. It's so laggy, bro. This shit is so laggy.
Any of my mods able to go just film that like 30 seconds, just that clip?
I get you.
I'm going up. I'm trying to drop.
Because I know Clix has clipping off, but I just want it for a video tomorrow if I'm talking about server performance. So it was pretty hard to judge how they were performing because they are a very high ground dominant team, and with that lag, high ground was just not it. Any team that rifted on them tried to contest them. It was just a massive lag battle. As you saw there, Clix is trying to 1v1 a guy. Builds aren't placing, bounce pads aren't placing. They're placing 5 seconds later. It didn't look good. They're dropping Pleasant Park, which looks like a good drop. The only team they have contesting them right now that looks like a pro team is Durant's new team. So I don't know how they're going to go. They were beating them off spawn almost every time, but they're looking like a solid team. I really hope they stick together, to be honest. Some of the teams that were performing insanely well yesterday were, no surprise, the teams that did really well in the last trio FNCS. So Centered, Edgy, and Commandment, I think they played 5 games and it was like first, third, first, third or something. Like just ridiculous placements. They were doing so well. And of course they are. It's 3 insane players who came second who still have their drop spot. They're still going Misty Meadows. They have everything the same as last season. They've just got to adapt a little bit to the new shotgun meta and figure things out, but they already have all their rotations down. They have everything figured out. The one thing I need to touch on as well, on top of the server lag, a lot of teams are running into issues because currently the NPCs, the AIs, the quest givers, they give Storm Surge, which was causing massive issues for any team that don't drop at a place that has them. So just in case you're playing scrims or you want to know, I'm going to guess Epic Games fixes this, but it looks like the Marauders or the AIs that walk around with the music, I don't know what they're called, those guys don't give Storm Surge. The ones that do are the quest givers. You don't challenge them, you literally just walk up and fight them. Any damage you do to them, you will get Storm Surge for. So teams that have quest givers like Misty Meadows were doing really, really well. Other teams were seriously struggling with their surge. It was really awesome to see the trio FNCS champs get back together as well. Reverse, Day, and Miro, when duos were announced, they all split, went separate ways, but trios, they're back together and they're looking as strong as ever. And same as Sensitive Energy and Commandment, they still have a drop spot they know really well. They're going Dirty Docks. They went Dirty Docks for a lot of trios FNCS and had a lot of success there. So they're looking incredibly strong. The other big names, we had Chap now. Chap is now playing with Who Fishy. They are not playing with Coop anymore. They're playing with Pledge, which is interesting to see because Pledge hasn't really had his moment in the spotlight. I mean, the biggest spotlight he had on him was last season when he got involved in that drama with Connor where they won the wildcard match. They got into the finals, but his parents made him go to a Halloween party. He got clowned for that a little bit, and I'm still seeing that around. So again, chat, just to make it clear, because people still keep clowning him, he's not a fake grinder. He didn't just leave his teammates to go to a party. His parents were making him go. It's a different situation. I really want to see Pledge just kind of put that behind him and have an awesome season with Chap. Zayd, Saf, and Stretch are still together. They're going Sweaty Sands right now. They do have a team dropping on them already on Twitter. They were kicking off the drama. Stretch ended up deleting the tweets, but he went in not on just on one of the players. He went in on their org. He said anyone who would sign this player to VS Bandits is an idiot. It was Stretch being Stretch, but they're going Sweaty Sands. They're looking pretty strong. And then obviously the other big name, World Cup champion, Booger, Jamper, and Avery are currently going Salty Towers, and it's an interesting drop. It's really, really strong. You have the sand rotation. You have a bunch of loot, you have all the slurp trucks, but it's really, really scrappy when you fight. The fight takes forever, it stalls out, and they just kept getting third-partied or rolled up on by different teams, but they were looking pretty good overall. Obviously, guys, I haven't included every single team. Some of them are still forming. Some are trying to figure out their drop spots. Some just didn't play scrims. You have teams, obviously, like Calc, Macwood, and Zexro. Zexro is not playing right now. Are they going to play together? Are they going to stay split up? I don't know. There's a lot of question marks, but it's really interesting just to see on the first day, the games were really stacked. I don't know if it was just because everyone was playing safe, but honestly, it looks like right now, with the POIs all being quite separate, having enough loot in their individual POIs, and not having crazy mythic drops that everyone's going for, the games actually looked pretty stacked and the players were pretty healthy. The loot pool's looking all right for competitive right now as far as everyone seems to be getting enough meds. The mobility is a little bit iffy because if you don't fish, you don't have the rift fish, so you really only have shockwaves to work with. But overall, I was so surprised to see how stacked the games were with teams trying to condition their drop and pretty much fight until they die on drop. There was still some like 50-man rotating first zones. Like they were really stacked. All right, last but not least, let's talk about what the X2 twins exposed today with their newest video. If you guys don't know, when you fly through the 0 point, that giant orb in the middle of the map, you gain 50 health or 50 shield. Now, I don't know why anyone hadn't thought of this. The twins have basically figured out that even in a 10-tick zone, even in the final zone, you have enough time if you've ramped up to the 0 point to just keep walking in it and walking out of it, and you gain enough health to out-heal any storm. So it's an infinite win. There is literally no possible way you lose if someone doesn't break you down or figure out what you're doing and it goes to an end game. So all they do is they skybase up to the 0 point. They just keep walking in and out and infinitely healing. And the last team doesn't know where anyone is. It gets to the final zone. They look down. They can't find the opponents. They don't know what's going on. They die to storm and you win the game. There is no way to stop it if it doesn't get stopped early. Unless someone knows they're going to do it and breaks out their skybase or discovers them, it's a guaranteed win because it heals for 50 and it only takes you what looks to be about 3 to 4 seconds to go in and out of it. So you're healing more health every single time than what you lose. So honestly, Epic is gonna have to do something to fix this. It's the same as the old sit in the slurpy swamps and fish strategy. It's a guaranteed win. They have to patch it somehow, and I don't know how they're going to. The only reason why, again, I'm talking about this is technically it's not an exploit. It's not something that's gonna get you banned because it's a feature in the game. They're just using it really, really well. So if you're playing Arena today, if you're playing pub matches, or if you're even playing scrims, and all of a sudden you're losing and you can't find the last guy, this is where they are. Obviously, full credit goes to the X2 twins for figuring this out. No one else has done it yet. I'll put the link to their video in the description down below. It was super, super entertaining. They had a lot of fun with it. And before you guys send hate to them, they're not trying to do this to try and, like, you know, ruin people's games. They just wanted to make a fun video. I know I didn't include anything on the other regions because with no tournaments and no scrims, none of them have really announced or played or shown anything. As that information comes out, you know I'll be covering it in my video, so don't worry. If you liked today's video, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below which NA East team is looking like your favorite. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. It would mean the world to me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.